nice little bug. All the sounds are placeholder at the moment, and there was a lot of internet hate about the sounds after the last video I did. So I actually got Brian to go through and rip out a few sounds to change them for this video. Unfortunately, the volumes are too high. Our audio guy hasn't started work yet, so yeah. Once we get that, it'll really be up to him. Get him to become a bit of an expert on it and say, look, what should we prioritize? What should we change? One thing I want to do is to show something I'm not happy with. When you're crawling slow like this, it should make no noise or very little.
So does that sort of replace the UI we have in Dayz mod, where there's the ear and the eye and the sort of levels of visibility and audibility?
Yeah, well, we've gone backwards a bit in terms of that, and that's one of the things I'm a little bit disappointed with at the moment, because we had to optimize the zombies for performance. I don't know, I want to go a little bit back towards where we went with that, where at the moment the terrain doesn't make such a big difference, and I do want to go back with that. One thing that I've been working on, it's not in this build because this is the current Steam build, is instead of doing this really annoying action thing, we actually want to see how I'm pushing the action and I'm like, why is it doing that? So what we're going to do is we're going to remove that action system, very similar to what Dyslexia was saying, and have you do that. So if you've got a crowbar or something, you'll do that and then it'll open it instead of you having to do the action menu thing. And I think that's going to be really cool because you'll have to crowbar it open and it could make a noise and stuff like that. Like I say, I think it's really important for people watching this, and it was what I was saying to you, Chris, was people need to manage their expectations a bit. I am dying as well. And this is what I mean, I should know that I'm dying, and I think my text idea, while a great idea, is a complete failure really, and I need to do something different. I have not seen this building before. This is a new type of building and it is awesome. It's cost us
okay, so on the
make, I think, actually.
the sneaking buildings in without, you know. On the health front then, so in classic Dayz, again, when you start to get to like 10,000 or 9,000 blood, your colour starts to fade to the point that you get into black and white. Are we going to see this a similar kind of transition of effects to represent how close you are to dying, screen shaking, audible?
That's exactly what's happening now, is that. So I am desperately running around because it's going to be very embarrassing and I'll never live it down when I die in my own stream. But this was actually accidental, this whole stream, so people need to...
We're doing it live.
Yeah. Clean it up in post, right?
Yeah, no one will watch this, it's fine.
Poor Bikeman's getting trolled by watching me. I'm sorry, Bikey. I really need to find some water here.
Was that a Kevlar vest I saw like 20 seconds ago?
Yeah. So I've got this is it provides this is an anti-stab vest. So we have a bunch of different vests that provide different, whether they provide ballistic protection.
Is the melee differentiated by blunt and pierce?
Absolutely.
Or is it just melee?
And that was probably the most soul-destroying thing with the video, was everyone saying, "Oh, it's just a pistol." You know, that was like, "Oh, this is cool. That everybody loves these." But they're much smaller. I really don't want to get that. But these are hunter pants. Oh, I put them in my inventory. I'll take them with me. I'm not going to stop until I find some water now, or I'm going to die. I am going to die. This is very sad.
If you do die, is it a respawn at the shore kind of thing, or?
No, we're all respawning at the same position at the moment for debug purposes, but probably on Monday I'll switch to the actual system.
I was going to say, do you have any firearms on your character? You know the feature you mentioned to me yesterday on Skype, is that something you can demonstrate today? Because I think people would be impressed
which
by that.
feature was that?
The loading around individually.
Oh, yeah. I wish I could find chambering an individual round. If I die, I'm going to start back. I might just... if I die, I might restart the server so that the loot respawns. Okay, this is one of the... There are some buildings that have not been done for enterable, so that's one there. Fair, honest explanation to people, which is probably going to cost me my life.
Also recently tweeted out a picture of the new, what appeared to be new pathing, about some kind of debug of the new pathing regime for your zombies. Do you want to explain how that's going to affect the way they track players?
Well, I mean, the main thing with it is that it stops zombies from running through building. And yeah, it's that's the main thing, is it's just going to vastly improve that.
So no more zombie on the other side of a wall punching you in the head through the wall.
Exactly.
Classic zombie code and literally rewriting it from scratch. And I think I saw you confirm that you'd done something like that.
Oh yeah, it's all
rewritten
engine done. It's all engine done now, which is, I think, is pretty amazing. Very amazing, in fact. I'm very happy with the work we've done with it. There's still so far to go, and I know everybody wants to play the alpha right, but like a lot of things get a lot of hate until we get, like, you still look, we've only got this many players on, and you just imagine what happens if we release it and everyone goes out and buys it and it falls over. We've let those people down, so we have to make sure we work it out. So while we've been doing that, while we've been preparing for the release, we've actually been trying to improve some of the key mechanics, like the zombies and stuff like that, improving the way they path, improving their melee, improving their numbers, all that kind of stuff.
So with the rewrite, with the zombies version 2, if you will, what are we looking at? More realistic kind of tracking of players, higher performance, so potentially more zombies per player, if you will?
Exactly. At the moment, this server is running 1,000 zombies and 15,000 loot items. Now just think about that for the moment. That's a huge amount. What we don't have in is a system that's being worked on at the moment that we trial briefly. It's basically, imagine you've got, let's say, about 20,000 dynamic items in the world. How do you actually manage those dynamic items? Because if you have to know, the only way the computer can assess the state of all those objects is by going through them one at a time and checking them. So that's what's causing us problems on the server end, and what we've been doing is creating different arrays, different groups of the objects to deal with different ones. What is very embarrassing right now is I have to wait until I die.
We've all been there, Dean. Trust me.
So yeah, this is really frustrating.
So what you said there was that this server is running 1,000 zombies. So traditionally, everyone would say, well, a server runs as many zombies as there are people near zombie spawns. To get everyone up to date on how the current architecture runs the zombies, someone turns a server on, loads the map. Does it literally chuck in 1,000 zombies across all the cities, and regardless of whether players go there, more or less zombies spawn? Are they predetermined, or will you see the age-old, you're at the airfield, you scan across, no zombies here, brilliant, there's no one here, you're happy to go? Yeah,
exactly. They all spawn in at the start, and at the moment the respawn mechanic is turned off. But the way it works is, if an area is devoid of people for a certain amount of time, the server will go, right, I'm going to reset. I'm going to reset the loot. I'm going to reset the zombies. So it means if you control an area, that's great, but don't expect loot to. That, I guess, brings up another exploiting point, which is the people who server hop. And what happens is, when you join the server, the process of the handshake is very different from a traditional armor, the way the armor works. And this is what we've spent a whole year redoing, is all the way the netcode works and everything like that. And what we're doing is we're passing a queue message from the central server to the game server. So when you join the server, it says you need to wait 30 seconds before you can join the game, or you need to wait no seconds before you join the game. Does that make sense? Or
Yep.
have I completely butchered that? So it allows us, the central server will say, okay, you've moved from another server. The game server might pass you a warning and say, the central server has added 30 seconds to your spawn time because you've hopped through a bunch of servers.
I think conventionally, most server hoppers are generally trying to get higher tier military gear. Do you envision a potential feature whereby the area that you're in determines how much you're punished for server hopping?
Damn.
So if you're literally inside a barracks and you log off, it goes, wait a minute, your coordinates coincide with the location of a barracks, 10 minutes for your respawn. That might make people actually have to leave the airfield and run, 5 or 10 minutes away, then server hop and come back. Because obviously, I'm sure most people that play at the airfield have had countless encounters where you run in the barracks, you're looting, and literally someone will just appear in the barracks because they're just swapping from server to server to just get all the guns.
Yeah, exactly. And look, I think that idea actually could work quite well. It's the kind of thing, though, that we'll probably push out till after the alpha. We're just so much at the moment prioritizing the performance and things like that. Someone just said they bought Project Zomboid. Good on them. I really wish I'd die.
You need to, I like the feature from Dayz where if you have broken legs, you can just click escape and end my life, just forget it.
Actually, I'm really sad because I had a Mosin bayonet. I don't know if anybody saw this. It was probably difficult to see in the inventory. I am in love with the Mosin at the moment. It was done by a very talented artist. His name's Harry. He's Australian, but I don't hold that against him.
It's not his fault.
And look, one of the most enjoyable parts of this project has been coming up with some really awesome items. Really proud of what a lot of the artists have done with some of these items, and you can put them all in your hands. So the Mosin has, we just put in a compensator, which is this little device you put on the end to make, and it fires out the gas in a certain way that it reduces the rise of the weapon. There's the bayonet for the Mosin, the traditional bayonet. You can use that in your hands, or you can use it for stabbing people. What else is there?
Oh wow, you can actually hold the bayonet like a knife?
Oh yeah. I wish I'd shown that before I died. Yeah, okay guys, so the unconsciousness mechanic is all being completely worked on still at the moment. One of the most difficult parts of this design, I was talking about it with the Project Zomboid guys, is multiplayer is very unforgiving. In Project Zomboid, it's single player, so you can time skip, sleeping and all that kind of stuff. We can't do that with it. I'm probably skipping over topics too fast for the people in the chat. But I guess with to get back to the Mosin, so there's the compensator, there's the bayonet, there's the traditional, it's called a PU scope. People can go Google that. Traditional scope. What else is there? There's a sporting scope, which is a very good high-powered scope for the Mosin. You can put the tripod on either the scope, on either the Mosin or the M4 or any other rail device. The cool thing about the the bipod, is that you actually right-click on it and animate the bipod legs coming down.
And you told me yesterday that gives you a benefit, but only if you're prone.
Exactly.
And if you're stood up, there's actually a handling negative. So it's properly balanced.
Well, I would say that it has the ability to be balanced. The balancing in the game at the moment is terrible, as you can see. There's nothing I can do either, because I only have one character. If I log off, nothing's going to happen. So it's just going to be a bit of a talk show at the moment. Gone for this really complicated system. And I think all good things are simple, really, particularly when it comes to game design. Like, I look at a game like Project Zomboid, it has pain, it has sickness, and you know what's happening. I don't know what's happening in this, and it's stupid. And so we're changing that. But I mean, that's the purpose of alpha. We tried this way, it didn't work, and we try something else. And I think that's someone's saying restart the game. If I rejoin, I'm just going to be unconscious again.
Turn it on and off again. How will the Hive architecture work from day one, full release, not necessarily alpha? Do you envision people being able to make their own clusters, or is it going to be a central server?
The $1 million question. The short answer is I've been talking a lot with the community development teams for the mods. So these are all the people who are making all the different mods for DayZ and stuff like that, and about what to do, because our most important thing for the initial release is security and stability. And how do we do that and still allow everybody to run a server which can connect to the Hive? So I'm not sure what we're going to do, but whatever we're going to do, I'll start up a discussion on the forums or something about it. And yeah, you know what I could do? I could script, and I could try and script on the server to kill me.
Could you maybe spawn a zombie over you that will kick your head in?
I think I know what to do. I know what to do. Have no fear, people.
So judging by how long you've been unconscious, it seems like the unconscious level of health or blood or whatever the setting is called now is quite far off death.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit far. I think it's when your blood level gets so low, there's a chance of you falling unconscious, stuff like that.
And is it going to have the same random number generation as classic DayZ, where your periods of unconsciousness are random, or is it going to or indefinite? So in DayZ, when you get hit, sometimes it's a 30-second knockout, sometimes it's like a 3-minute knockout, and it really, in a firefight, you've got your friends needing to blood bag you and everything. It makes it really tense and random.
Just 1 second. I am going to kill myself.
In game, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, that could get taken away at a con. Okay, so sorry everyone, I know this is really annoying and frustrating, but that is the way the game goes. And my blurriness is so bad because I was dying. Bugs! So we'll wait for the server to hop up.
So previously when I spoke to you, the only weapon you had was the AK. You said you've wiped out all the classic weapons and you're building them from the ground up to make sure they're all balanced and they feel right. So you've said in this stream that you have the Mosin as well, and you mentioned earlier a pistol. How many weapons have you got in there? Are you happy with them, or are they placeholder?
What have we got in? So we're just putting in the 2-barreled shotgun. I can't remember the name of it.
Is the Winchester making a return?
It's hard to find good help. Is that a girl? Being chased by someone, and you guys can't see this yet. I'm being chased by someone, and
someone said in your chat that when you spawn, they're going to punch you.
Yeah. Probably overloading the server because everyone's joining at the moment. There's no special time for the poor server to spawn all the items, so it's doing everything all at once.
Wow, the graphics look so good.
Well, I'm not running it on very high settings at the moment.
Are the radios still in?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But I haven't set that up to show. If I could try and find one and find a battery, then that would be great. I'll try and find some zombies and let the zombies clean them up.
Oh, so you have to have batteries for electrical items. Do the batteries actually have a charge and they degrade over time?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Oh, that's interesting. Because one of the things I always found overpowered. Your character just flipped a bird. One of the things I found overpowered in DayZ is once you've got night vision goggles, you're basically a powerhouse at night. And I thought it'd be an interesting balance if you had to constantly search for batteries to keep them going. And then, otherwise, you'd have to take them off and only turn them on when you're in a firefight. It would add like an interesting survival. I think that's the first time I've seen a moving female zombie.
Yeah, oh gee, I forgot to change that so that that should be fixed. And we've got other different models, I just hadn't turned them on. Any questions, feel free to fire away.
So what kind of
oh god, this guy needs to bandage himself.
Is this one of the actual cities or is this a random?
This is the same place. It's a Vibor. So see, he's taken his shirt off and he's currently ripping it up to make bandages so that he can bandage himself. I'm going to try and help him.
You mentioned earlier in the stream when there's only 1,000 people or so watching that the melee in this isn't the kind of same system as classic DayZ, where it's basically like a zero range bullet. In this, it actually does proper ray tracing the curve and sees if players intersect it. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I mean, we've still got a lot of work to do with it, but it's working much better than I'd expected before. This time, I'm not going to die of getting hungry and grab all the stuff there that he's got gloves and a knife. I'm not going to hang around that. At least these guys aren't trying to kill me.
Sonos in chat asks if there are any systems that you have planned for the kind of group experience. So at the moment, obviously you've got the whole spawn on the shore, work your way up towards your friends, and it's quite punishing when you die, which is one of the harsher aspects of the survival style games. Do you have any concepts for being able to form a group so that you can see who's a friendly?
Yeah, look, we don't know what to do with that. That's still something that we need to work out a great deal, basically. And we've tried to add in the join your friend's Steam game and that kind of stuff, but then how do we deal with that with streamers as well? And as you know, I'm a total streaming noob, so I don't really know how best to support. We've tried to talk about what can be good and what can help. But yeah, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done with that.
But in terms of playing as a squad, some other mods, like for example, where you have little hexagons over your teammates' heads so you know that they're your teammates, I always found kind of a charming aspect of squad play in DayZ is that you need to remember who your friends are. Oh, you're the guy with the beard with the Enfield and the backpack, okay. And then you have that little bit of shock when you see someone that's not the person you were expecting. So you've got to, I suppose you have to strike that balance between the kind of raw, survivable, realistic aspect of having to remember who your friends are, compared to the kind of, oh, I keep shooting at my friends, I'd rather have a group feature.
Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff that we're just going to have to deal with more when I guess the alpha comes out. But look, I'm really proud of how, I know the melee is still kind of crappy, but I'm really proud of how it's shaping up. Like, it's actually a lot of fun to walk around. We just need to up the zombies by about a factor of 3, and then it's going to be so fun to just run around and kill zombies and clear places. What I do want to do is, yeah, like Quantum says, teamwork can be dangerous because you end up if you're really swinging your weapons, you'll end up hitting each other. You can use single-handed weapons which don't do these wide sweeping arcs, but if you're swinging your baseball bat around, you can accidentally hit someone. Sorry, did I even answer your question? I'm not sure I did.
No, you did. Do you have any plans on going the kind of, I suppose, mini chivalry route where you have different kind of attacks? So if you are with a group of friends, you can maybe do an overhead attack that doesn't sweep from left to left to right, but you might do less damage, for example. So there's a kind of a trade-off there.
Yeah, look, we want to do that, but it all comes down to controls. We've tried to make the controls much more unified and simplified, but Dayz is this really weird mix now of first-person shooter, melee game, all sorts of other stuff. So it's really hard to find the right balance for everything. Yeah, so we need to figure out that first. See, I really like this new addition we've done here. When I drag the shoes over, I'm like, okay, that's the item it's going to change on my character. Just simple little use.
Do you have any general design theories or plans around the new version of the humanity system? I've heard you say all sorts of things about humanity, all the way from maybe the person's face just looks a bit different or they have a different expression, all the way through to like this, wherever they go there's kind of an aura around them that represents that they're a bandit. I mean, any ideas about where you're going to try and strike the balance on that aspect?
Yeah, so I guess we're the jury's still out with that. Like, how do we do that? And I think yeah, I'm not sure what the answer is there. I think we just have to wait and see how our players play it and what we can do with humanity and how much is an important role is humanity playing. God, I wish I had a weapon to show people some of the mechanics here. Like, this is a small, based on the Magpul style, you can basically pimp out your weapon. Empty that. You can see here that I've got rounds. I can split that into another pile. We've got a little bit of a bug at the moment. You can see sometimes there's a delay when it's actually making the new item, but it's not sending you the feedback. So
I think that's a really important change that maybe a lot of people aren't aware of unless they've been following your every word at all the different conventions and tweets and whatnot. Maybe you want to reiterate it for the stream. The difference between magazines and individual ammo in the standalone in its current build compared to classic Dayz.
And clips, Chris, and clips, because we even have clips as well. And I know that you're very big on the differences. Where's my friend gone?
Magazines.
Hey, where you at, dude? Hello, friend. I don't know where he is. Someone's bleeding, though. That message comes up when you're locally. Oh, here he goes. Hey, can you show, do you have any 7.62 ammunition? Zombie, to your left. See how the body's wobbling when I'm doing that? Oh, you'll see this soon. So that's something that's been added to the game. When you basically hit something, there's a... Oh, yeah. Let's go back to the supermarket, guys. You still there, Chris? Janet?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
So you're hitting the body and it's kind of swaying around.
Yeah. So it's a very simple... Oh, we actually have... it's called a library called Bullet Physics in, and it's... yeah, so we can actually do ragdoll, but it's very dangerous to do at this point. So we're not going to put it in before the alpha, because, yeah, we don't want to... It's just introduced this whole level of horrendously difficult physics in that we don't want to introduce at this point. We just need to make what you see here work with 100 players or 50 players minimum.
I suppose one of the danger of the whole ragdoll thing is you shoot a player, their body ragdolls. If the collision doesn't work correctly, clip into a wall or something, all of a sudden you can't loot them for whatever.
Well, look, those things aren't the things. Can you drop the M4 for a minute, and I'll show everyone on the stream how the bullet loading a single round in the chamber works. I think you can also might have been a little bit of a reveal there. I probably should have told David about that. Who's the person playing saying yes? Oh, it's me. This is me here. I just need an M4, guys. If someone could put an M4 on the ground. Thanks, man. First of all, get rid of this. Is a magazine that's busted, so I'm going to take that off. So
how do they become damaged? Just one
no, sorry, not that. I mean, like the actual model's screwed up for some reason. The texture's all. It's a coupled magazine. So what I'm going to do, just don't run in front of me, guys, or I'll end up shooting you. So I've got my M4 and I can't fire it here. Now normally I'd have to put a magazine on. I do have a magazine, but if I chamber around, please work. Please work. There we go. I have put a single round up the spout of the M4. And so all the people looking around me go, he doesn't have a magazine on, he's perfectly safe. But nope, he's not.
That's awesome.
And you can see now I don't have it. We've also fixed up the zeroing system wasn't working. We've got it back in. The UI that you see up there is only placeholder at the moment. Yeah, I'll give you back your M4 now. Does anyone have any scope attachments or any attachments at all? Attachments are quite rare. I'm not sure you recognise what you can see there, Chris.
I'm really delayed from when you talk,
right,
so I don't know.
Okay, we'll just get the guys to get some attachments, because I really want to show, like, well, there's a Mosin here, so everybody keeps complaining about the Mosin, but there's no ammunition. The Mosin is just a beautiful model, just stunning.
All the models you showed me when you showed me like the saline drip and the pipe bomb and all those kind of things, the attention to detail and how high quality the textures were, but without sacrificing too many polys that would affect performance. I think you guys are really striking an awesome balance between performance and really high quality items in the game.
Yeah, we've put a lot of work into it, and that's why the bar for entry has been so high. And I know a lot of people got peed off. They're like, "Oh, why don't you put heaps of stuff in and things like that?" And it's because we don't want to like overdo things, and we really want to make it good. Like, underdo things. You know, we want all the items in game to be really, really good.
I remember at Resd, you were looking at a bottle of iodine, and you looked at the bottom of the bottle, and it wasn't indented like a real. Like, I'm sending it back. That's the kind of level of detail you're looking for in your game.
Yeah, and I think we've started to really achieve it. Oh, can I have water? Can I have some water? My guy's like dying again. Nice sunglasses.
I think the more people see the depth of features you're adding, like individual magazines, individual rounds, being able to load one round into a chamber, being able to have a excessive round and only one magazine and having to reload it individually, all these kind of deep features are really going to drive home the fact that you're making the game you originally envisioned. This isn't just the Dayz mod, but moved to a better engine. This is your true vision, because now you have the time and the team to actually make what you wanted to originally.
Exactly. You know, that's the most important thing. Do I still have where'd the M4 go, guys? Oh, here it goes. Here it goes, thanks. What? I didn't know there were grenades in game. I don't think there should be yet. Oh, where'd the does someone have the butt plate? The stock, sorry. So I'm really proud of the inventory system as well. Like, all the stuff is 3D items. It's gonna look amazing on the Rift.
Most awkward things about original Dayz is the UI system, because you were really limited to the R2 engine. And what you've got now, when you can turn items in the inventory to look at them at different angles, when you drag an item, the different colours represent whether or not it can interact with other items, like for example when you disinfect things. I think people will really be able to appreciate how much more intuitive and interesting it's going to be compared to the kind of the current builds at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Previous Dayz.
Oh, this is pretty cool. Now this isn't working 100%, so I need to just caution people that I just broke the internet by saying hello to Reddit and 4chan. Oh, someone else put a message in, so what it does is it adds your message to it. Looks like I fixed that bug. So that's actually persistent. If I log out, back in, and log back out and back in now, it would make a difference. So I'm going to put that on the ground. And oh, wait, did someone ask, what did they ask the question in there? What about the fonts, Rocket? Oh yeah, someone's joking me. So you actually have different coloured pens. So the reason that text is black is because of the different coloured pens. A lot of people think all this stuff is really stupid, but I think there's a lot of depth that's added to the game by doing this kind of thing. See the red dot here? I haven't actually linked this up yet, but it should be linked up with being able to turn it on and off. You've got to actually have a battery to power things like the red dot.
So that's another item that you might be scrambling through a general store and you find a pack of batteries, or...
Yeah, at the moment we're using AA 9-volt batteries, because we want everything to look the same.
Will the player be able to intuitively tell how charged the battery is? Will batteries maybe spawn with varying amounts of charge, or are they all going to be kind of fully charged if they're a fresh spawn?
We haven't changed that stuff yet. Like, you can see everything spawning is pristine at the moment and that kind of stuff, so...
Oh yeah, I noticed on the magazine in your inventory it does say pristine. Are you going to be implementing kind of a chance for a magazine to jam if it's in low quality? or is it just a flat out it works until it breaks?
At the moment, we haven't finished that mechanic. That's the thing. Like, this is so unfinished.
So it's more you're building the framework to be able to introduce all these balances as you and the community find them.
I don't want to be shooting these people in the face, so I'm going to put this on my back. Oh. Nice glasses. But notice how, see, again, this is a problem. We just introduced gloves, but it's made her arms turn white. So we have like perishable food and stuff like that. I'm going to put this in here.
I think previously you explained that you get different types of food that affect your character in different ways. So if you eat in an unhealthy fashion, you actually end up with lower energy, you can't run as far, you're more prone to certain sicknesses. Is that something you want to touch on?
Yeah. I'm just going to tell these guys, 1 second. Hey guys, let's go find some more attachments so I can demo off the attachments a bit. You guys lead the way so that I can talk while we're doing this stuff. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
I was just saying, you've previously explained that the different types of food, because you just mentioned perishable food, right? So maybe, I think you previously mentioned if you just eat like chocolate bars and cans of Coke, your character will actually perform differently to if they're eating food and meat and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is the cool bandana. That's right. So we've got a bunch of bandanas in game. I really like those.
One thing I think a lot of people will be looking forward to is when you do have the kind of big squads of friends that go around together, they can actually make kind of an unofficial uniform, like we're the guys that wear green hoodies and a bandana, we're the guys that wear a leather jacket and, you know, shades. It's going to be kind of interesting. You'll be able to kind of represent your communities by wearing certain types of clothes.
Exactly. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. It's real hard to use melee weapons inside at the moment, because you keep whacking them into the side.
That just shows how good the raycasting is.
And I think they're stuck. Yeah, the raycasting's good, but we need to come up with all the different interrupting animations and stuff like that. I think the server's under a pretty heavy load at the moment. Well, I mean, you fix one bug and you create like 8 in the process. The only thing we're waiting for now is just the server performance. But it doesn't mean we don't stop working on other stuff. This has all been looted. You know what? Whoa. You know what? I know you will be sad about. I haven't got a ghillie done yet, but I talked to one of the artists yesterday, so I'm going to see if I can get a ghillie done. Probably have to do it as one whole clothing item that will just go over top of your other clothing items. Probably it'll be a vest actually. It'll count. You won't know, but basically when you put it on, we'll just have it cover all your clothing items, so you can actually wear stuff underneath.
Well, that might introduce kind of a balance, I guess, because you could then limit the amount of magazine slots or inventory slots that the ghillie suit has. So as a cost of being very stealthy, you can't have 15 magazines in all your different pockets.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty clean cut for the apocalypse, that guy.
Is the motorbike helmet still in, and is it still planned to reduce like brunt force damage?
You know, the motorbike is spawning all the time at the moment. It's really annoying. It's like so many motorbikes in the game, but motorbike helmets, but no motorbikes. These guys are quite tooled up. We've got to adjust all the spawning tables quite substantially. I'm just going to ask these guys. Have any of you guys got any attachments? I don't know what more there is to show, really.
A lot of people are asking about vehicles. I imagine that's kind of a further down the line feature.
Yeah, it's coming in the oh wait. Have you got a bipod on it? Oh, teasing me. Vehicles, look, there's a really ambitious roadmap we've got. Like really, really ambitious. And that's definitely high on the list. One of the big ones is animals, which actually I think is going to make it in time for the alpha release. And so animals, hunting, bows, crossbows, vehicles, construction. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. There's a lot of stuff we've got planned in there. A lot of it depends on how we go with the alpha release.
Settings that you're going to have again, maybe just whether or not you can update your up your brightness at all. Some people are saying that they'd like to see if it goes brighter.
That's the brightness there. It's a little bit washed out at the moment because my character's a bit hungry, I think.
Ah, okay.
It's that. Then there's Gamma as well. Just doesn't appear to be doing anything. Nice. Alpha. Yay. We need to have little sort of emoticons that tell you where you're at. We need to have that kind of stuff. But yeah, you can see the rags here. And rags are piles. So there's a lot of stuff that you can... Rags 1 rounds remaining. I should probably change that word rounds or put it in the config or something. It's not working yet, but you can eat rotten food and it can maybe make you sick. So just about everything in the game can be picked up. You see that guy there's got a hammer, that guy there's got a mask on. Some people might recognize that mask. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Another very, very cool game. I love Payday 2 as well. I love this as well, the pipe. Quite a good weapon in the game, but it doesn't have the reach, but a much higher durability than, say, the baseball bat.
I was just pointing out the emoticon, the kind of text feedback for "you are no longer full of water."
Oh yeah, so our designers, obviously their English isn't super good. That whole thing needs to go.
Do the in-game radios support transmissions such as internet?
Yes, they do. In fact, that's the only thing they support. Look, there's a lot of stuff that's just plain old unfinished. Just like totally plain old unfinished. And we're just going to have to be really honest with people when the alpha starts, that's the case. So see, we're putting in special animations for every item and stuff like that. Comes through, you'll see that I've got a kitchen knife and I'm stabbing with it. And the same occurs with...
So say your buddy's next to you, he's bleeding, you have a bandage, he doesn't. How do you interact with him to do the bandage?
You just look at him. Yeah, you just look at him, and it'll say bandage, their name and stuff like that. I'm going to fire around and... Oh.
Will the game support track IR, someone's asking?
Yep, already does.
I'm sure people are curious to know about Rift.
Well, as you know, I love the Rift. You've got to get 50 frames.
Someone asked if you can throw knives.
No. So we need to deal with physics. That's one of the reasons we put in bullet physics, is because we want to be able to do all this stuff. But it's a multiplayer game, you know. If this was a single-player game, we would have been out a year ago, and it would have a whole bunch of stuff. But it's not. And one of the reasons that everybody likes Dayz is because, it's a multiplayer
Exclusively
experience.
multiplayer.
Yeah. You can't drink while you're running at the moment.
Weapon maintenance added at any point?
Yeah, so a lot of things. One of the things I want to do with the rags is have it so that you can use the rags to patch your clothes and stuff like that. But I just haven't got there yet.
Right, yeah. Is that going to be something that you work on after alpha release, or?
Yeah, we're just so focused on the performance stuff now. Like, it's just so critical.
How is the performance and netcode and everything going?
Well, I mean, it's not too bad. It's getting better. It's getting way, way, way better.
Will zombies all have kind of a flat health, or will they have different levels of health? And will there be locational damage on them? For example, if you hit them from behind over the head with a hammer, it's practically a one-shot, whereas if you bash them in the arms for a bit, it won't hurt them at all.
Exactly. I mean, that's in there at the moment. Yeah, at the moment, if you hit them in the head, it does a lot more damage than if you hit them in a normal spot. Yeah, look, honestly, I think the zombies need a huge amount of work in that regard. It's the thing is, you fix the bugs and you remove some of the difficulty. Now, I'm not saying the game should be difficult because of bugs, but, we need to put something back in there. I think what I'm going to do is a lot of what Project Zomboid kind of has, which is, one of the suggestions was, if the zombies hit you, they're just about always going to cause bleeding damage. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that there's a chance that they can cause you to get some kind of infection, like a tetanus or something like that.
Well, that's kind of a good demonstration, really. You're here live streaming the game, and in the current build, even though you want to, you can't figure out a way to teleport yourself around easily. And one of the, obviously, the most poignant problems we had in Dayz is that duping and hacking and scripting became really prevalent. And you've really let that down, right? So, as I understand it, your client is basically just a dumb client that is told by the server where you are and what you're doing based on your key inputs. It doesn't actually tell the server, hey, I have this gun. It says, what do I have? And the server says, you have this gun.
Yeah, exactly. We've got another new compass in game as well. It's not on the spawn table yet, though. Yeah, look, I think there's always going to be hacks to games, and what we tried to do was to limit the impact of them and make them, not as terrible, really, and lower the impact. So the impacts for them are going to be a lot more local than they were previously, and I think that's quite important. Oh yeah, you can actually walk around while you're handcuffed now.
So it looks like some people are wondering why the axe is positioned weird when you're holding it. I think it looks like
it's lefty. Yeah. That's because good point. That's because. Oh, brutal. You heard the supersonic crack there. Oh, yeah, the lefty axe. So the lefty axe is because we need to do some work on the animation engine. It was only ever designed for holding rifles. Basically, once we've tidied up the animation engine, we'll be able to do that other stuff. And I think that's probably a good time to call it. So thank you, everyone, for watching.
No, thank you for...
And buy Project Zomboid, buy Payday 2, and other stuff.
All right, well, we'll leave you to
thanks
say
everyone
goodnight.
for tuning in.
Yeah, and we're going to go play some CK2.
Damn right.
So my character's gone! They're dead! Oh!